Welcome back, Martin James Designs. Another episode on the OUTLAW Sportster build. So this is episode 6. On the last one, we got all the powder coating done. We did the race look with the white tire marker on the tires. Got all that ready to go. This episode is full reassembly. We're gonna reassemble the engine. We're gonna reassemble the whole front end, get all that rebuilt, and we'll just see how far we go. So let's just jump right into it. I know I say it almost every build, but if you powder coat the bolts properly and you're careful on the install, there is literally no reason why you can't install them and torque them without any marks. So I'm not saying that it's not perfect. There's the odd one that will chip, or if you have to take them off multiple times, I could see it being a little bit of a concern, but for the end result of how it looks and the way it works out, if you do it properly, I think it's so worth it. Okay, back in the garage today, we are reassembling the forks. Almost every fork is the same. Well, they're all very similar with the Harleys. It's pretty straightforward too. I think it might seem a little bit like confusing to rebuild a fork, but it's actually pretty straightforward. So the first thing we're gonna do is slide the dampening rod into the cylinder till it pops out the bottom. Here's the nut that threads the cylinder to the bottom fork tube. This slides in here. You obviously want to make sure everything's been cleaned out. I've already air blown everything out. This slides in here carefully till the bottom's out. I use a little bit of Loctite, not much, just a little bit of the red. And then thread the nut through the bottom. You can see it coming in. Until it gets tight. You can snug that up after. Okay, the next step. So for all you've watched my videos in the past, I've always used a piece of ABS pipe or a piece of fence post to drive the seals in. So I did invest in a proper and a proper fork driver. So this is for 39mm. This is the first time I've used it, but it's gonna make it a lot easier because you can drive those seals and washers in properly. So all we're gonna do is slide this sleeve in right here. That's gonna go in the bottom. Then we're gonna use a little bit of assembly lube for the seal. We're gonna drive the seal in, and then we're gonna put a washer on top, and then our C-clip. Then once that's done, it's the dust cover, and that is it. The rest is gonna be all internally, and we'll do that right after. Should be able to drive it. Next, we're gonna put a little bit of assembly lube on our seal. Bevel end down. Then we're literally just gonna pop our C-clip in here. There's a little groove. You'll hear it snap. Like that. Make sure. There you go. Now once that C-clip's in, we're gonna put the dust cover on. I just put another little bit in there. Slide this in. Give it a little tap. That's one rebuilt fork seal. One more important part. These little Phillips screws. This is how you drain the fork right here. I don't typically powder coat this one because it's something that does need to be removed quite frequently when you're servicing the forks. But powder coating this one is a little too small for me. So you gotta make sure that you don't forget to thread these in, because if you fill the forks with fluid, they're gonna come right out of here. These fork bolts do tend to get scuffed up just because the amount of pressure you have to put on them with the spring to tighten them. So I'm gonna put some tape on there and see how that works. Yep, that worked good. This is the first time I've seen a rectifier cover, and it's actually pretty cool. So I powder coated this the same color as the rims and the air cleaner. So it is the anodized bronze, but it's got a clear coat on it. It's gonna keep the front clean. So we do need to put a crash bar on here somewhere. That's what Terrence asked for. So I'm not entirely sure how that's gonna be set up yet, but for now we're putting this on to see how it all looks. And hopefully I can adapt the crash bar to this mounting plate or the fork, the frame tube somehow. So let's get this on. else get an update? The tire is spinning. I'll show you where we're at. All right, fork fluid is in the forks. Caps are back on. They turned out awesome. Everything's torqued to spec. The triple clamps, the whole front end's complete as far as not needing to disassemble it again. Pinch bolts are all done and torqued. Okay, so the front wheel spacers are done. Everything's finished. We got the caliper in place. The rotor's on. Everything spins perfect. But when I look at it, it looks so good from this side. Like, I think it looks sick with the white on the lettering. Keep in mind, these boots are going up, and I'm going to show you guys how I vinyl wrap this. So this is all going to be black too. I have my vinyl wrap for my silhouette. We're going to do that next. But right here, I know we got to keep the rotor this color, and it actually doesn't look that bad. But then there's this. It just sticks out. And I haven't pulled a caliper apart before, but it's very common that guys take them apart and powder coat them. So I need to replace the brake pads anyways on the front and the back. I can't leave this. It just doesn't look good enough. So I'm going to pull this caliper apart at some point, powder coat it, and put it back on. But it's all mocked up and everything fits perfect. So we're gonna pull this caliper apart at some point, powder coat it black, put new pads in, and this whole setup's gonna look way nice. So next up is going to be finishing the fork boots, wrapping the top cylinders with black. I just have some vinyl here. It's just 651 outdoor wrap vinyl that you can use for any outdoor decals or anything. So we're gonna measure that, wrap it, and make all of this cylinder black here. All right, update time. I got a lot done today. So the entire forks got completely rebuilt. Boots are on, vinyl is wrapped, headlight is mounted and put on. The gauge is installed. I powder coated these bolts, the bronze. I thought it would look nice. And I got an idea with what I'm gonna do on these top clamps, but I'll save that for another episode. The front tire is completely on and spacer's done. It's sitting on its own weight now. I literally don't need to take that front tire off again. So I'm just gonna need to sort out all the wiring and stuff. The gas tank is just sitting there. It doesn't have a raise on it yet, but it actually looks pretty good. I'm digging the bars too. I think it's gonna give it a nice, comfortable, straight ride look, like more of a racer. I got the air cleaner done. That's all finished. All of the covers are on. All the top rocker, bottom rocker, all the lifter covers are on. Turned out awesome. The tires look sweet. I really like them. Then over here, primary's done. Got all that done. Looks good from this side. All right, that's gonna be it for this one. A little bit of a longer episode, but we sure got a ton done on it. Next episode, I'm going to be reassembling the whole rear end of the bike, getting the shocks on, getting the rear tire on, belt, basically everything finished on that back end, and then just doing some odds and ends, probably gonna get the exhaust on, forward controls, and then I gotta get this paint going. So make sure you guys subscribe if you wanna follow this build. Terrence, if you're watching, you can see we're getting close. And I'll catch you guys on the next one.